Hi, I'm Tony Cusack, and in this video I'm talking about stretches and contractions as ways of dealing with out of position notes when you're executing scale passages. The kind of situation I'm talking about is where all the notes of the phrase that you want to play lie directly under your fingers in a given position, except one or two. For example, if you're in the key of C in the second position, you will sometimes want to play the note F, which is either here on the first string or up here on the second string, neither of which are, strictly speaking, in the second position. Another example would be in the A major scale, where we want to play the G sharp, which lies either here on the fourth string or here on the third string. So stretches and contractions are two ways of dealing with those out of position notes. Which one you choose just depends on the context of what you're playing. I'm using major scale fingerings as my examples, but these ideas are relevant to any scale type, and they're particularly valuable to jazz players because they allow you to modify the scale fingerings that you already know to other scale types. I've documented the examples from this video here. Stretches are indicated with the letter S after the finger number, and contractions with the letter C after a Roman numeral indicating where the position shift occurs. So looking now at stretches, they're quite intuitive. You simply play up or down the scale until you get to the out of position note, and then you use either a first finger stretch or a fourth finger stretch, and again it just depends on the context which one of those you use. So looking at the C major example, we play all the way up until we get to F, which is the out of position one, and using a first finger stretch we just reach back like that and play the F. Then the next note you play using the in position fingering, and any other notes in the scale that you want to play at that position. Then coming back down, same, just same thing. Okay, and in the A major example you would use a fourth finger stretch on the fourth string. So we've played F sharp, the next note is the out of position one. If we use a fourth finger stretch, we just reach up like that and then carry on the rest of the scale. Same on the way down. So the thing to be aware of with stretches is don't move your hand, don't change position. You either reach back with your first finger or up with your fourth finger. Contractions, by way of contrast, do involve a position change, and that position change needs to be executed a few notes before the one that's out of position. So for example, playing up the C scale, now when we get to the D on the second string, instead of using your second finger as you normally would, use your first finger, and that throws you up one position, and you can play the rest of the scale notes coming back down. When you're going on to the third string, instead of using your third finger, which would be the intuitive thing to do, sort of contract back like that with your fourth finger, which puts you back into second position. Looking at the A major example, when you come to the F sharp on the fourth string, instead of using your third finger as you normally would, use your fourth finger. That throws you back in the first position where you get the G sharp, and then you would just immediately return to second position, play the rest of the scale. Now coming down, when you're going on to the third string, this just coincidentally is sort of the same fingering as the other example. Instead of using your third finger, use your fourth, which throws you back into first position. Stay there until you come to the E on the fourth string, where instead of using 2, you contract, use 1, which puts you back into second position for the rest of the scale. So contractions are sort of like little mini position changes. The reason they're called contractions, maybe that's my terminology, but it's just that you're sort of contracting back inside the existing scale position rather than extending or reaching outside it. Okay, thanks for watching. I'm Tony Cusack, and you can contact me if you want via the website, which is up the top of the video. I'll leave you with a couple of books which have got lots of examples of the techniques that I've been talking about. So for stretches, it's the William Levitt book, volume 2, and for contractions, it's Aaron Shearer's book of scales.